Chosen one, hear me. This storm, they've been whispering about it, warning about it, waiting for it. It will not touch you. You felt the shift in the air. The clouds above your life have been gathering, not by chance, but because something in the unseen realm has noticed you. And when the enemy notices a child of destiny, they send winds meant to break you, rains meant to drown you, lightning meant to frighten you into retreat. But listen, before one drop falls, before one branch bends under the weight of that wind, heaven has already drawn a circle around you, a shield so strong, so impenetrable, that even the fiercest storm can only watch from a distance. I need you to know, this is not just about weather. This is about the kind of season you are walking into. There is a reason why the attacks have increased, why the misunderstandings have multiplied, why shadows have been whispering your name when they think you can't hear. It is because your steps are aligned with a divine timetable. And when a chosen one moves according to heaven's calendar, the enemy panics. They send storms, not because you are failing, but because you are close to breaking through. This message is not for the crowd. It's for you, the one who has been feeling both the trembling of the ground beneath you and the unwavering pull of something higher calling your name. The one who has been wondering if the turbulence in your life is a sign that you're off track, when in truth, it's confirmation you are exactly where you're meant to be. Today, I will reveal to you why the storm cannot touch you, why the hand of God is not just watching over you, but actively standing between you and every force sent to destroy you. We will walk through the signs that you are under divine shield, the reasons the enemy is powerless to cross that line, and the instructions heaven is placing in your spirit right now to prepare you for what's coming next. But for now, hear this. You are not just surviving this season, you are being preserved. And when this is over, those who thought they could watch you fall will see something they cannot explain. You standing, untouched, with victory written in your eyes. Because what I'm about to tell you is not speculation. It's not wishful thinking. It's not something pulled from the pages of human opinion. This comes from a place higher than fear, higher than circumstance, higher than the reach of any plan designed against you. There is a voice, older than the mountains, steadier than the oceans, truer than the pulse in your own chest, and that voice has spoken over you. I can feel it even now, like a current moving through the air. The way heaven carries a decree is different from how the world delivers a promise. When heaven speaks, it is already done. It doesn't need to prove itself. It doesn't need to negotiate with the forces that oppose it. It simply is. And the decree that has gone forth is this. The shield over your life is not fragile. It is forged from covenant. It is rooted in the unbreakable character of the one who called you. No amount of shaking in the atmosphere can dismantle it. You may see things moving around you, relationships shifting, opportunities closing, voices rising in accusation. But the very ground beneath your feet has been claimed by the Most High. And when God claims territory, He also claims the one who stands on it. I am not here to promise you a path without resistance. In fact, the resistance is proof that the covering is real. If you were exposed, the storm would have swallowed you already. The fact that you're still here, still breathing, still able to hear these words, that's evidence. Evidence that someone is standing between you and what was meant to take you out. It's not just protection, it's positioning. The shield is not only keeping the enemy's hand from striking you, it's keeping you aligned with where you must be for the next move to unfold. Think about that. The same force that is deflecting arrows is also guiding your steps. You're not just safe, you're being steered. Because destiny isn't random, it's deliberate. And when the Creator marks you for a specific outcome, every detail of your journey is filtered through His will. That's why some things didn't work out when you begged for them. That's why certain doors slammed shut before you could walk through. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. It was the shield at work in ways you didn't recognize. And yes, there's a reason you're hearing this now. The timing isn't accidental. Something in the unseen has reached a point of decision, and heaven is letting you in on the truth before the next wave of movement comes. The one who holds the wind in his fists and tells the waves where to stop is the same one holding your life right now. And just as no storm has ever broken the boundaries He set for the sea, no force will cross the line He has drawn around you. You have been claimed, and because you have been claimed, you will be kept. Here's what has been shown. The storm that was prepared for you has already been intercepted. Not delayed, not weakened, intercepted. It was meant to rise suddenly, without warning, meant to throw you off balance before you could even gather your thoughts. But what they didn't account for was this. The watcher who never sleeps saw it long before it formed. I see it in the spirit like a dark wall of clouds, rolling in with intention. Its winds coiled, its rains heavy with accusations, betrayals, and setups. The kind of storm designed to erode your foundation, to make you doubt every word God ever spoke over you. And yet, it has been stopped at the border of your assignment. You might still feel the atmosphere shift. You might still hear distant thunder. But it's the kind of storm that can only circle on the horizon. It cannot cross over, because the line has been drawn, and that line is holy. Do you understand the magnitude of this? There are storms in life you fight through. There are storms you endure. But then there are storms you simply outlast without a scratch, because God Himself stood between you and their path. This is one of those. And here's the part you need to grasp. This isn't just about protection from harm. It's about preserving the purity of what's about to be birthed in you. The enemy knows that if he can't kill you, he'll try to contaminate the atmosphere around you. He'll send distractions, false alliances, voices that sound supportive but carry sabotage in their tone. But the shield is active, not just blocking physical impact, but filtering out anything that could distort your vision or corrupt your next step. I have to tell you this plainly. The storm is a sign that the promise is near. The enemy does not waste energy on assignments that pose no threat to him. He saves his fiercest winds for those who carry something that will shift the ground beneath his feet. And you are one of those carriers, the vision God placed in you, and the calling you've tried to explain but can't fully put into words. It's about to step into visible reality. That's why you've felt the tension. That's why the night has been heavy with strange dreams. Why you've woken up with an unshakable sense that something is moving in the unseen. It is. And here's the revelation. This storm is not here to destroy you. It's here to announce you. When the winds begin to rage in the distance, it signals to the spiritual realm that something valuable is emerging. The enemy wanted the sound of that storm to bring fear into your heart. But heaven intended it as a trumpet, a public declaration in the spirit that your season of hiding is over. You will not be introduced through struggle. You will be introduced through survival. People will look at you and wonder how you stayed untouched, when everything around you was shifting, falling, breaking. And in that moment, your life will become living proof that the God who shields is the same God who elevates. Mark this in your spirit. When you see the clouds gather, but feel the peace remain in your chest, you are under divine preservation. That peace is not denial. It is prophecy. It's the evidence that you are walking inside a promise too strong for the storm to breach. So don't misread the horizon. The darkness you see is not the end. It's the covering that will make your emergence even more undeniable. For when the winds finally scatter and the sky clears, you will be standing in the sunlight, and everything heaven has been preparing will be in motion. You see, not every shield is simply for defense. Some shields are sacred chambers, hidden spaces where transformation happens away from the enemy's gaze. This is one of those. The Spirit showed me this clearly. You are in a place like the eye of the storm. If you've ever seen it, you know, it's calm there, silent, almost unsettling, because you know chaos is swirling just beyond the invisible wall. But here's the truth they never tell you. The eye of the storm isn't just a fluke in the weather. It's a design. It's the storm's own architecture making room for stillness. In the same way, God has positioned you in a divine stillness while the spiritual winds rage outside. It's not because nothing is happening. It's because everything is happening. He's aligning the pieces, sealing the cracks, fortifying the walls of your inner life, so that when the moment comes to step forward, you are not stepping out with exposed wounds or half-formed strength. This is preservation with purpose. Think of a seed buried in the soil. From above, it looks like nothing is changing. The ground is still, but beneath the surface, there's a rupture, a breaking of the outer shell, a release of what was locked inside. Roots begin to push down, while the stem begins to push upward, all in the safety of darkness, protected from the elements, until it's strong enough to break through. That's you right now. You've been planted, not buried. And heaven has stationed angels like sentinels around your field, ensuring that no trampling foot, no scorching wind, no scavenger spirit can dig up what God has placed there. And here's the deeper layer. The shield is not only blocking what's outside, it's refining what's inside. Because storms don't just threaten, they reveal. They bring to the surface what's weak, what's unstable, what's not built to last. God is using this season to strip away anything in you that could collapse under the weight of where He's taking you. That's why the last few months have felt like loss and pruning. It wasn't the storm breaking you. It was the gardener removing what would choke the fruit. Do you notice the rhythm of this? In every biblical account where God shields someone, it's never just to keep them safe. It's to prepare them for the assignment that follows. Noah wasn't just protected in the ark. He was preserved to carry a new covenant into a cleansed world. Israel wasn't just shielded by the pillar of cloud and fire. They were preserved for the promise of Canaan. Mary and Joseph weren't just warned to flee to Egypt. They were preserving the Messiah until the appointed time. And now you, shielded not because you are fragile, but because you carry something too significant to be exposed prematurely. The spiritual meaning here is layered, but at its core, it comes down to timing and trust. Timing, because what God has prepared for you requires conditions to be right on every level. In your spirit, in your relationships, in your surroundings. Trust, because the shield is a test of whether you can stay still under divine covering, without trying to run ahead into a battlefield that heaven hasn't yet cleared for you. It's in this stillness that discernment sharpens. You start to hear the difference between opportunity and distraction, between applause and manipulation, between urgency and divine prompting. Because when you're shielded, the noise is muffled enough for the true voice to cut through. And I have to tell you, what's coming after this shield is lifted is going to require that kind of precision. You will have to know the difference between what is for you and what is bait. The storm was meant to dull your senses, but God is using this space to heighten them. So the depth of this season is not survival, it's strategy. This isn't just God keeping you safe. It's God preparing you to walk into the fulfillment of His promise, with the kind of unshakable clarity that cannot be manipulated, bought, or seduced. The shield is your school, and the storm is your syllabus. Every lesson learned here will be what keeps you standing when others fall. When this is over, you won't just be someone who made it through. You'll be someone who understands why you made it through, and that kind of understanding cannot be taken from you. There are always traces when heaven moves on your behalf. Divine protection leaves fingerprints, not always visible to the natural eye, but unmistakable to the spirit that knows how to pay attention. You may not have realized it yet, but the shield over you has already been revealing itself. And here's how you'll know. First sign, the chaos doesn't match your peace. Everything around you might be shifting. Voices may be raised. News might be coming in that would normally shake you to your core. And yet, deep inside, there is this still, unexplainable calm. It's not denial. It's not that you don't care. It's that your spirit has been tucked inside a fortress that fear can't breach. Second sign, doors are closing without your permission. And somehow, you're not grieving them the way you thought you would. People may have walked away. Opportunities you prayed for may have slipped out of reach. But instead of collapse, you feel a strange gratitude you can't explain. That's the shield in motion, removing what looked good but carried hidden harm. Third sign, your discernment has sharpened. Lately, you've been able to read situations faster. You can feel motives before they're revealed. You're spotting inconsistencies in people's words, not because you're suspicious, but because the covering over you is filtering what gets through. The Spirit is showing you truth without the need for long explanations. Fourth sign, attacks don't land the way they used to. You've noticed that when people try to provoke you, you're slower to react. The bait that used to pull you into arguments, fear, or anxiety just falls flat. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. The shield is absorbing the impact so you can conserve your strength. Fifth sign, unusual provision or timing. Something you needed arrives exactly when it should, even when the path to get it made no sense. A bill gets covered. A door opens at the 11th hour. A conversation happens, by chance, that changes everything. These are not coincidences. They are tactical moves made by a God who sees the storm and make sure you have what you need to outlast it. And perhaps the most telling sign of all, you have a growing awareness that you are not walking through this season alone. It shows up in subtle ways. A scripture that leaps off the page, a song that plays at the exact moment you needed to hear it, a conversation with a stranger that feels like it was orchestrated just for you. These are whispers from the one who holds the shield, small reminders that the covering is active, that the line has already been drawn, and that nothing sent against you will cross it. So when you notice these signs, don't dismiss them. They are heaven's way of saying, it's working. You are surrounded. You are secure. Here's what you need to understand. Even under divine protection, there are tests. The shield doesn't mean ease. It means survival with purpose. And inside that survival, there are challenges designed to refine you. Some of these challenges will feel like silence. You'll pray, and the answer won't come as quickly as you want. You'll seek clarity, and instead of direct instructions, you'll get stillness. That's not abandonment. That's training. God is building the kind of faith that isn't addicted to constant reassurance. He's teaching you to trust the shield, even when you can't see it. Then there's the challenge of waiting. Waiting under protection can feel like being benched. Your spirit is ready to move, but heaven is holding you in place. Not to punish you, but because timing in the kingdom is everything. Step out too early, and you step into terrain that hasn't been cleared yet. Step in sync, and you walk straight into prepared ground. Another challenge? Isolation. The shield can create a sense of separation from people you thought would walk with you forever. Sometimes, the very ones you wanted near in this season are the ones God intentionally keeps at a distance, because their words, habits, or unresolved wounds would bleed into your assignment and weaken it before it launches. This isn't rejection, it's preservation, but it can still feel lonely. And then there's the subtle frustration of limited vision. You can see part of what's ahead, but not the whole path. The shield covers you so completely that sometimes it blocks your own line of sight. Not because God wants you blind, but because He's guiding you step by step, so you don't get overwhelmed by the scale of what's coming. One of the hardest hidden challenges is restraint. When you're shielded, you will often hear things about you, see moves against you, witness schemes forming, and yet God will tell you, stay silent, don't respond, don't fight this one in the flesh. And that's a test in itself, because everything in you wants to defend your name, prove your point, show the truth. But the shield means you don't have to. Your defense is happening in the invisible. Finally, there's the challenge of patience with yourself. When you're under covering, you'll notice areas of your own life that still need work. Old triggers, lingering fears, unhealed places in the heart. And the temptation will be to judge yourself harshly. But this is where grace meets growth. The shield gives you room to address these things without them destroying you in the process. So if you're feeling the weight of these hidden challenges, don't mistake them for signs of weakness or divine distance. They are proof that the protection is doing exactly what it's meant to do, giving you the space to be strengthened, refined, and prepared for what's on the other side. The enemy wants you to see these challenges as proof you're losing ground. But in truth, you're gaining something far greater. Roots deep enough to withstand whatever storms may still come. If the shield is God's part, then obedience is yours. And in this season, obedience will not be complicated, but it will be costly, because what heaven is about to release through you demands a vessel that is aligned, alert, and ready. Instruction 1. Guard your atmosphere. You cannot afford to let every voice into your ear right now. This is not the time to debate your calling with people who have already shown they don't understand it. Your shield is protecting you from outside storms. Don't open the door from the inside by entertaining conversations that sow doubt. If the Spirit says, limit your circle, do it without apology. Instruction 2. Protect your focus. The enemy knows he can't touch you directly, so he will aim to scatter your attention. Random distractions, petty offenses, urgent but not important, demands on your time. These are designed to drain the energy you need for the real work ahead. Every day, ask, does this pull me toward my assignment or away from it? If it pulls you away, it's not for you right now. Instruction 3. Stay in the Word like it's oxygen. When the shield is up, God often downloads specifics for the next phase through scripture. A verse you've read 100 times will suddenly unfold like a map. Write it down, pray over it, speak it out loud until it shapes your thinking more than the headlines or the opinions around you. Instruction 4. Maintain your posture of worship. Worship is not just music, it's positioning. It's reminding your spirit that God is higher than every storm on the horizon. When you worship in the middle of uncertainty, you declare to both heaven and hell that your trust is not for sale. And that declaration is a weapon. Instruction 5. Fast strategically. This isn't about starving yourself, it's about clearing the clutter from your spirit. It might be food, it might be social media, it might be unnecessary noise. Whatever it is, removing it for a set time creates space for God's voice to be louder in your spirit than the storm outside. Instruction 6. Speak only what aligns with the promise. Your words have creative power. If you speak fear, you'll feed fear. If you speak faith, you'll reinforce the very shield that's protecting you. Refuse to give the storm any glory by talking more about its threat than God's authority. Instruction 7. Move when He says move, no sooner, no later. One of the greatest dangers in a shielded season is either rushing out too soon or hesitating too long. Both can sabotage the assignment. You will know it's time because the peace will shift. Not leave you, but direct you. You'll feel the go in your spirit, like a release valve opening. Until then, wait. Instruction 8. Prepare in the present for the future you've been shown. If you've been given a vision of what's coming, start getting ready now, even while the storm circles at a distance. If you're called to speak, prepare the message. If you're called to build, gather the resources. Don't mistake. Waiting for idleness. Preparation is the proof you believe the promise. Instruction 9. Stay humble under the covering. Protection is not a sign you're better than others, it's a sign you're being positioned for service. The shield isn't just about your safety. It's about the lives you'll impact once the assignment begins. Pride will puncture holes in the covering faster than any attack. Stay low, stay teachable, stay grateful. Instruction 10. Keep your spiritual armor on daily. Ephesians 6 isn't metaphorical poetry. It's survival strategy. Truth, righteousness, peace, faith, salvation, the Word. These aren't seasonal accessories. They're daily gear. The shield you're under works in harmony with the armor you wear. Every one of these instructions is a piece of the strategy. Follow them, and when the moment comes to step out from under the shield, you won't just be stepping into the next season. You'll be stepping into it armed, ready, and unstoppable. You are more surrounded than you realize. Even now, there is a fortress around your life, not made of stone or steel, but of promises that cannot break. I see it like a circle of light, stretching so far above you that the enemy can't climb over, and so deep beneath you that nothing can tunnel under. It's not just a wall, it's a living presence. Every breath you take inside it is sustained by the one who formed it. When Scripture says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous run into it and are safe," this is what it means. You're not standing in an open field hoping danger passes by. You're in the tower, high above the reach of the storm's waves, hidden from the enemy's direct sight. There are angels posted at every corner of this shield, not the soft, storybook kind, but the kind that carry swords forged in heaven's own fire. They are stationed to block, to push back, to intercept anything that tries to breach the perimeter, and they answer to no one but the command of the Most High. This covering isn't temporary. It's not something God has to rebuild each morning. It's been established before the foundations of the world, crafted for the exact moments when destiny requires preservation. You've already seen glimpses of its power. Times when you missed the wrong place at the wrong time by minutes. Moments when someone else's downfall could have easily been yours, but you were led another way without even knowing why. That wasn't luck. That was covering. And here's the part you need to rest in. This shield is not fragile. It does not weaken because the storm gets louder. It does not crack under pressure. It does not fail because you feel tired or unsure. Its strength does not depend on your mood, your energy, or even your ability to understand. It depends on the character of the one who promised to keep you. Even if you stumble, even if your faith wavers for a moment, the shield doesn't drop. The shepherd does not abandon the sheep because they trip in the pasture. He lifts, he carries, he secures. So when you hear the wind howl, when you see the lightning flash in the distance, you can stand still, because none of it is permitted to cross the line drawn in the spirit. Let this settle in your heart. You are not outnumbered. You are not exposed. You are not at the mercy of the storm's path. You are sealed in the safest place that exists, the center of God's will. When this passes, and it will, you will not step out of the shield as the same person who stepped into it. The storm will have done its part without ever touching you. It will have clarified your vision, sharpened your discernment, and burned away the excess you didn't need for the journey ahead. You will carry a calm in your spirit that others can't explain. They will see you and wonder how you stayed so steady when everything in the world seemed unstable. And here's the truth. You won't just tell them you were protected. You will be living proof that divine preservation is real. Every wound you thought would be permanent healed. Every fear you thought would always linger gone. Every uncertainty that once made you hesitate transformed into clarity and boldness. It's as if the shield itself is not only keeping the storm out, but pouring something into you while you wait. A new strength, a deeper faith, a courage that doesn't rise and fall with the opinions of others. And when the moment comes, when the winds die down and the sky clears, you will hear it, that release in your spirit, that quiet now from heaven, and you will know it's time. You will step forward not cautiously, but with the authority of someone who has been preserved for a purpose. The ground you step onto will not be the same ground you left. It will be prepared, leveled by the very storm that tried to reach you. What the enemy meant for chaos, God will have used as a tool to shape the perfect moment for your unveiling. And you won't just be blessed, you will be the blessing. People will draw near, not out of curiosity, but because they can sense that you carry something from another place. Your words will hold weight. Your presence will bring peace into rooms that haven't known peace for years. Your life will become a doorway for others to believe again, because they'll see the storm that was meant to destroy you couldn't even leave a mark. This is the fulfillment phase, the part where all the waiting, all the silent nights, all the unseen battles suddenly make sense. The dots connect, the questions fade, and in their place comes gratitude so deep it takes your breath away. You'll look back at the isolation and see it as intimacy with God. You'll remember the closed doors and recognize them as protection. You'll recall the confusion and realize it was preparation for wisdom. This transformation is irreversible. Once you have lived under this kind of shield, you can never go back to living unguarded. You'll know what it feels like to be fully kept, fully guided, fully loved by a presence that cannot fail. And here's the most humbling part. The transformation isn't just for you. Your survival is a testimony. Your breakthrough is a map. Your fulfillment is a seed that will multiply in the lives of those who hear your story. When you step into this next season, you won't just be walking into blessings. You'll be walking into legacy. And the storm will have been the backdrop that made the light of your life impossible to ignore. Take a breath right here. Let this moment settle deep into you. Because what has been spoken is not just encouragement. It is decree. It is already moving through the unseen, already shaping the path ahead of you. And now, I want you to speak these words out loud, so they don't just pass through your mind, but take root in your atmosphere. Affirmation 1. No storm sent against me will cross the line God has drawn around me. Affirmation 2. I am preserved, protected, and prepared for the destiny that awaits me. Affirmation 3. The peace I carry is stronger than the chaos around me. Affirmation 4. God is my shield, and nothing can break his covering over my life. Let these settle into your spirit until they feel like your own heartbeat. Because every time you declare them, you're not just reminding yourself, you're announcing to the spiritual realm where you stand, and who stands with you. Now, hear this blessing. May the Lord who spoke light into the void, speak peace into every corner of your mind. May his shield wrap around you so completely that you forget what it felt like to live unprotected. May your steps be guided without detour, your hands strengthened without strain, your heart filled without measure. May the storm lose its voice before it ever reaches your door. May those who plotted against you become witnesses to your rising. May you see, with your own eyes, the goodness of God in the land of the living, not just in eternity, but here, now, in your lifetime. And when the time comes for you to step out from under the covering, may you walk into a season so radiant so undeniable that it redeems every tear, every delay, every hidden battle you thought no one saw. You are shielded. You are claimed. You are kept. Go forward in peace, knowing that the same God who began this work in you is faithful, utterly faithful, to bring it to completion. And let the seal be this: no storm will touch you, because the one who commands the winds has already called you his.